Sego. Welcome to Lesson 4. Open up your vocabulary document and print it out if you can. The first thing you'll notice is that we're working with purple prefixes this week. We use purple to indicate the relationship between someone to someone. We're only going to cover the most commonly used prefixes. Unlike the red and blue prefixes, where there are 11 or 15 respectively, there are over 70 purple prefixes. If you want to take a peek at the others, again, don't go studying them like crazy. Get the basic ones down first. You can find them on our purple prefix videos on the U1L4 YouTube channel. We're using these purple prefixes in common with our verb root nuus and two new verbs. We're covering more new particles, a couple of names, and then the negations of our new verbs. So let's begin. Gunuus, I like you. Rinuus, I like him. Kenuus, I like her. Then we have the yous. Dagenuus, you like me. Etsenuus, you like him. Senuus, you like her. Now, our first new verb root for this lesson is yenderi. This means to know something specific. And since these are purple prefixes, the thing you're knowing is another person. It's also possible to use this verb root with the red color prefixes in referring to someone having specific knowledge about something in particular, like cars, computers, or dinosaurs. My thing is movies, so I'd say, I know movies. I gyönderi ne deyoyaks. That's our word for movies, deyoyaks. The reason I throw that in is because in our last lesson we learned the verb root aderyandere, which means to know. Now it's tricky at first trying to understand the difference between the two kinds of knowing. In English we only have one word for knowing. I know that you know would be wagaderyandere ji saderyandere. I know that you know her would be wagaderyandere ji seyenderi. That seyenderi, that refers to a specific knowledge, and the wagaderyandere is more like having knowledge of something. So we have gunyanderi, I know you. Riyanderi, I know him. Keyanderi, I know her. And then on to the yous. Dagyanderi, you know me. Echyanderi, you know him. Seyenderi, you know her. Now our next new verb is an easy one, yats. This is one way to tell someone your name. Jungyats, they call me. Zoe Jungyats, they call me Zoe. Note that this isn't the same as saying, my name is Zoe. There's nothing in the root that says name. We have another word for that. Now next we have Yezayats, they call you. Runwayats, they call him. Yundajets, they call her. I'm going to talk about the prefixes involving she or her right now. When you see K, as in kenuus, the K describes the relationship between I and her. So in this vocabulary list and in your Anki deck, this is translated as I like her. But the funny thing about the purple prefixes that involve she or her is that they can have three meanings. The she or her part of the relationship could also be someone else or they. So, kenuus could also mean I like someone or I like them. And them is any combination of more than one person. So, a group of men or a guy and a girl or a group of women, these would all be kenuus. For example, I could say, Ezo kenuus ne Beatles. Agetnistaha kenuus. Ostuha kenuus ne Olsen twins. Well, not really, but you get the point. Now, when we're using the verb yats, jungyats, yezayats, runwayats, yundajets, the she or her part of the purple prefix is understood as they. We just accept it as they because it's that verb. So, they call me Zoe, they call you Jeff, they call him Dawid, they call her Wari. But now I want to look at the word yundajets for a second. So we know that Y verbs sometimes get rid of E's in prefixes, like in dagyenderi. That same thing happened with yundajets. The her to her prefix is actually yondade. So we would say yondade nuwes. And with the Y verb yenderi, we say yundajenderi. Yundade is her to her. And what do we know about the she, her prefix? We know that it can have three possible meanings. That means that a word like yundade nuwes could mean 9 possible things. It could mean she likes her, she likes someone, she likes them, someone likes her, someone likes someone likes them, they like her, they like someone, or they like them. So, again, whichever meaning is being used will be apparent within the context of a conversation. Now that we have all the hard stuff out of the way, here are some easy particles. Saha, more. Saha jiniotne. The ... part means that you stick a verb in there. So you can say something like, Saha kenuis ne Beatles, jiniotne Rolling Stones. Next we have gado. This means or, but we only use this or when we're asking a question, as in, senuas ga ne dagos gado ne erhar. And we use the next word, dogani, in the context of a statement, as in, yah degenuas ne dagos dogani ne erhar. I don't like cats or dogs. Next is doske. It is true. Nene. This can mean that is or who is, depending on the context. So you could say, Kayenderi ne yagungwe nene wari yundajets. I know a woman who is called Mary. Or, Senuasga ne dagos nene gawano. Gawano is our word for big, so that means, do you like the cat that is big? Next is no one or nobody. Yah onka. Yah onka de kenuas. I don't like anyone. Onka uk. Someone. Oya. Other. Else or another one. And you can combine these, so you could say Yah onkak oya. And notice you can join those consonants and vowels together. Yah onkak oya. Nobody else. Onkak oya. Someone else. Yah onkak oya de kenuas. I don't like anyone else. And then up next we have 2 common English names with their Mohawk versions, Ardizaguar and Sawadis. You can kind of hear how Elizabeth would sound like Ardizaguar, but Sawadis? And now lastly we have the negations of one of our new verbs. Yah de guyanderi. I don't know you. Yah de hianderi. I don't know him. Remember that R in the prefix changes to an H when the de for the negation gets tacked on. Yah de kayanderdi. I don't know her. Yah deskenderdi. You don't know me. This one is a little tricky to explain. When negated, the dage prefix changes to this HSK. It's just one of those rules we can chalk up to. It sounds better. Next we have Yah dechenderdi. You don't know him. Notice that we took out 2 E's here. The prefix for you to him is etse, but we don't need the 2 E's at the front, and the Y in this root cancels out the E at the end of the prefix, so we end up with a shorter, smoother sounding word. Otherwise, we'd have this. Now try and read this. Yah de etse. I don't know, I can't do it. It sounds better like this. Yah de chinderdi. And then lastly we have Yah de seyenderdi. You don't like her. We add that H in front of say here to maintain that S sound. Now one thing that you can do while studying these words is to look at pictures of random people and see if you can say out loud the correct prefix for each verb root, for liking or knowing. So if you see this picture and you're using the verb root to like, what would you say? What's the answer? It's rinues. I like him. So try that out. I'll post some pictures on the Facebook group and you can use those to look at and test yourself.